Number one, we have Super Saiyan 2 Trunks Heroic Prospect. The reason why I added this card to the list is because we're in a meta now where you are able to play battle cards at energy cost of 4 or 5 by turn 2, by turn 3, just by tapping one energy. And if you look at Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, that deck actually lets you do that. And of course, that's the rare one, which even though Kid Goku got to ride it, you can still play a 5 drop. There's cards now that are making it easy for us to aggro each other. So just playing something by turn 2 is still considered a threat because your opponent gonna try to aggro you. And we also have access to unisons where we can gain that extra marker. So Heroic Prospect Trunks does come into play. And if you are gonna run Heroic Prospect, run it at least 3 inside in 1. So that's my take on that card. Number 2, Majin Buu. Confrontation with a Noble Heart. One thing about this card is that you just have to have a Z blue card in play, and you're able to play this with 1 energy. Not only that, but he is a 15k blocker barrier, and if you block with him, you're also able to combo battle cards from the drop into the battle area as a combos to protect Majin Buu, and then that card can go to Z energy. So it also helps recycle your Z energy, and I think you should definitely run these at least at 3 or 4. I know that Noble Heart is mostly used in the blue Majin Buu deck, but it's also pretty popular in the Soul Striker deck, and there's been a few players using it in the SS Blue Gogeta deck as well. So just so they can protect their unison. Even though they have the Z Golden Frieza battle card, it's a nice tag. And if you are a Soul Striker fan, I definitely had changed a lot. I made some changes with my Soul Striker deck since the last time I did a video, but running these at 3 is definitely helpful because that way they have to go through it. And barrier is pretty tough to take out unless you're just trying to, get rid of cards ignoring barrier, which is still applied to the deck. Number 3, I love this card. I really do. The Bura Stone Transformation Nightmare. This card is a blocker. It is a dual attacker. And the fact that you're able to negate the skills of an opponent's card. I have this card in hand because I like the artwork on it. But the fact that you're able to negate the skills of an opponent's card and can't attack for a turn is pretty cool. Not only that, it has something very beautiful. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. Then you switch up to one of your energy. It's literally the 2.0 version of our former friend, the Buu Unison, which is still a great card to use in the deck. Also, that card is a tap 4, right? Which you technically tap in 3. And if you run Soul Striker, you get to retain your energy. It's a SCR removal as well. And he's also a late game attacker. Dual attack late game is a flex. So if you swing once and stop it, you still have a blocker on the field. And I think that's one of the coolest things ever to play. But I definitely recommend you at least running at least one of these in your Z energy. And of course, you have it ready for turn 4. Especially if you're trying to go for game, because sometimes people sleep on this unison. I actually think people do sleep on this unison because we're so caught up on worrying about the secret rare. Man. Number 4. We have Super Saiyan Brawly Unrestrained Destruction. This card is really special, especially if you're playing it in blue decks. This is a necessity. You run these at least 2. All right, you run this at least 2. If you have a Brawly BR or if your leader is blue, you can play this card by tapping 2. And if your opponent has 3 energy or has 3 or more energy, you could literally withstand this card and it gains double strike for the turn. But one of the things that stands out to me the most, I think some players miss out on this, is that it lets you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. And that's an activate main once per turn. So what you would do is you would tap 2 to play him first, then you activate main, you get rid of a card off the field, then you swing, and then without tapping anything, you withstand him again, but he's a 35 double strike. This is a really powerful card. Definitely recommend you at least running 2 into the deck. Other than that, let's go on to the final blue card that I think you need to use in your blue deck. Number 5, we have Son Goku versus Frieza, the final battle wish. This card, for one, is going for $130 on TCG, but this card comes in clutch. You're able to restanding energy, and it's a 2K unison, right? It is a powerful unison, but it also lets you search, basically add up to a Son Goku with energy cost of 7 less to your hand. So if you are a Goku fanboy like I am, I don't play God Break Son Goku, but you can add God Break Son Goku to your hand. You can add the 6-drop miraculous comeback. I think that's the one where Goku is fighting Beerus or from the realm of the gods. Or you can literally add an SS3. So it lets you search for a Goku if you have 7 or more markers. But this card is very popular for being able to withstand an energy. Now, of course, if you are running Soul Striker, you get to untap 2, but with this card, you get to untap 1. So you're actually untapping 3 energy. You untap 2 on Soul Striker, but on your opponent's turn, you tap 1. That extra energy open can save you a lot because we have the D magics. But this card is really good. If you are going to get one, I highly recommend it. You trade. It's pretty expensive, but you run one of these at 1. And I'm telling you, these 5 cards is what I'm using, and I've been very successful with Soul Strike. Oh, I need to update my Soul Striker deck for the channel. Someone asked me to do that too. Android 17 Defending Friends is a card that I think every blue player should run. I mean, you if you do run it, you want to at least run it at 2. 3 should be fine. I remember back when it was peak, you run these at 4, but people are getting around them and it's just not attacking. But one thing about this card is, you know, it puts your opponent in a tough position to decide if they want to swing or not. Now, some people do go in or try to go in for game, right? But bottom decking cards is not fun. And you have to understand too, if you activate Android 17's auto on your turn 4, turn 3 going into turn 4, by turn 5, your opponent going to have cards that they need to hold on to try to go for game. So when they're trying to attack, you have to have an Android 17 in hand, so that way you'll be able to at least slow them down, at least from the first attack. So next we have Goku's Black Mighty Blast. This card is really good for many reasons. It's very defensive with the plus 10k. You tap 1 blue energy. You can send 3 Z energy to the drop area. You get to draw a card and you get to play a token with blocker, and you get to bottom deck a battle card energy cost of 2 or less, which that could most likely help in case you're going against a 1-drop aggro or something. But cards like Mighty Blast, they're a must in every color. And Goku's Black Mighty Blast, I enjoy it the most because you get to keep it on field. You can't get rid of it, and you're able to just use it for what it is. And then of course you get to have a possibility of defending yourself from a big attacker. So Full Blown Strength is such I call it the emergency 8-drop card, because the card is really, it clears board. I mean, that's what it does. It puts cards into Z energy. I wanted to add the sale from the Z battle card sale, which I was contemplating, but that's still a great card. But the fact that lets you send stuff to your Z to your opponent's Z energy, and then of course if they activate a counter regarding that card, they have to add a card. So I mean, your opponent can literally add an extra card to the Z, and when they activate it, I mean that's how good is. Is one of those cards where your opponent is going to have to make some sacrifices because you're clearing the board. You activate a counter to add a card to Z, which can affect him in the long run, and then he's a double strike 30k. That's pretty good. Of course, you have Dimension Magic. Dimension Magic is literally one of the best counters in the game outside of Hatch. I mean, Hatch could negate a whole turn. Your opponent can swing, but D Magic, it benefits you so much with the Spark King, taking life and untapping 2 energy, having your resources open to be able to use more cards. D Magic is definitely a 4-up. Now I've seen some decks run them at 3, just I guess for ratio purposes, but I mean you definitely want to keep 4 in when it comes to going against aggro, and at least you'll be able to, you'll be alert on what to use, what to have in hand. I mean, some people would put in 1 D Magic in the energy, and they run 3 because they can rely on Zeno, the super combo, to add it back. But definitely consider running 4 full time in the deck. And then we have Sun Gohan, Brains of Universe 7. I like this card a lot because, for one, I mean, you tap 3, you draw 2 cards, you bottom deck, you tap 1 blue energy, you become a 30k, and then at the start of your opponent's main phase, you untap 2. So obviously, if you're running Soul Striker, you untap 2 off of that, and then you have an additional 2 energy open for any defenses. So I think that's what makes that card really good. And you definitely want to run 4 of these in the deck. Now, if you're running Soul Striker, make sure your deck is up to 53, 54 cards, because you will be bound to play multiple of these cards. That was my 10 cards you should get for blue. But I noticed that Senzu Bean, I didn't put Senzu Bean in because Senzu Bean has been eroded, where it used to be where you can tap energy on aggro. But I we all know about Senzu Bean, right? Still a great card, but I just felt in my heart that these were the correct cards to use, cards you need. I've seen some people play blue decks where they only run two Senzu Beans. Not just in blue decks, in even Vegito. I run Vegito and I run 2 Senzu Beans. Alright, what do you guys think about this video? Did you guys like it? Also, what blue cards come to mind when it comes to 10 blue cards that you need? I mean, there's so many cards coming out. I mean, I thought about adding the Gohan Piccolo, one that taps 3, bottom decks a card, triple attack. I thought about so many, but like I say, I thought about the Piccolo, the double, the dual attack. I just so many blue cards, right? But I just wanted to just point out the ones I think I know for a fact as a blue player that you definitely need to run. But I'm Evan U7. Have a great day. And remember, the Lord loves you. Bye.
And this bitch going crazy.